Yeah, good morning. Today I wanted to address something quickly that I get a regular routine call on quite a bit, especially with those people who are using the Optiglaze without a GC Labolite light source. Generally, you can cure Optiglaze using VLC halogen light sources, but you have to be extremely dutiful in how you expose the material. I thought I'd touch on that a little bit here for about 5 minutes so that I can prevent you from having situations arise. So as you know that Optiglaze comes two ways. It comes in a clear and it comes in a color. They're both basically made the same thing. One just has a coloring agent in it and the other is just a clear. But they're both constructed, or they're both manufactured the same way, and that is that they're nanofill technology, meaning that rather than have clumping of the nanoparticles, they distribute them throughout a resin matrix, which is a photoactivated material. That photoactivated material, which suspends the particles, as you can see here in between, is what's causing the situation. And the situation is, again, overexposure, which technically they call it burning. It's not literal, but the burning creates a browning of that suspension material, and thus there's a situation with discoloration down the line. By the way, the calls that I'm getting are not from people who get it immediately, but it generally is done, and then a week or two or a month later, they'll get a call that the restoration that they used to clear on was had turned colors. So I want to address that now. So as you can see, I use the product in several different manners. I use the clear and I use the color for pits and fissures. I use it to change the color of teeth from an A shaded A1 to an A3 and so forth. I have quite a bit of experience with it, and I also use it to make an optistippled surface, a stippled surface which is positive in texture, not negative. And it works really well for me. I don't like putting holes in the base. I would rather have bumps or a orange peel surface, and again, very cleansable. But with that being said, I'm getting these calls from people who are complaining that they have a browning occurring with the Optiglaze. And the browning comes from the fact that they're using these types of light sources, a halogen driven light source VLC curing units. Particularly the ProCure and the Triad seem to be the ones that are creating the most problems. In order to get a good cure on the Optiglaze with these, it is not recommended to go over 40 seconds exposure. If you feel that you're not getting a full cure on it, you can elevate your appliance into the light source a little bit closer, but you can't extend that time past 40 seconds or so. If you do, what you'll do is you'll end up burning that photoactivator, overexposing it, and this is what's creating the problem. I ran some tests here, and I'll show you what I came up with. So I took a piece of paper, that paper that I used from the pads, and I coated this one and put it under the halogen light box for 120 seconds. Then I took another piece out and I exposed this to 75 seconds. Then once they were both exposed, I took and stuck them in a drawer for about 3 weeks. And I put them in a drawer because I wanted to imitate the darkness of the oral environment, and there was no need for it to be involved, outside of in the light, because I didn't want outside ambient light to affect it. Anyways, after 3 weeks, I pulled them out, and here's what came up. I had a browning, a very heavy browning here at 120 seconds, and at 75 seconds we had a slight discoloration. So it kind of substantiated what I had been thinking and what we had already known, and that is that if you are going to use a halogen light box source, and I have made this recommendation before, that you can't accumulate the time over 45 to 50 seconds at the most. Because if you do, what you're going to do is you're going to end up burning it. And what do I mean by accumulatively? I mean, if you're going to put on a coat of color and then cure that, and then you're going to put on clear to seal it, my recommendation is to break it up. 20 seconds on the color for cure, and then for the glaze on top, 20 to 25 seconds at the most to seal it. And that's it. Now, this is if you're using a halogen light box. You know, if you were to use an LED source, like the Labolite Dual, which is the correct light source to be using, and it's within the 400 to 430 nanometer rating of light, you could cure it for 3 minutes or so. But you're still going to get the same kind of cure. It just won't be as fast, and you can control it a little bit easier as far as exposure time. So, you know, again, using the right materials and the right machinery, you know, you don't invite problems. However, like I say, you can use the halogen light sources, you know, but you have to be very diligent about your exposure rates, okay? So again, just remember, if you're having these situations and you are using these units, this is your probable cause, okay? Again, there it is, a little brown, a little less brown. It's all about the exposure and then and the light source itself, the intensity. There's your Labolite Dual, and by the way, that cures everything from Gradia to Optiglaze and anybody else's products as well. It's a dual cure machine, so it has two different LEDs, a blue and a violet, and it covers a wider range of curing. So anyways, if you're not gonna use this, just remember that you have to be much more careful when you're exposing your product to those halogen boxes. By the way, if you didn't already know, I will be giving a course August 17th and 18th in Alsip, Illinois at the GC America Education Center. The link here posted, you should be able to click on it and it should take you to their website where you can get further details and register. By the way, the Learning Center is near Midway Airport. If you're flying from out of town and it's 10 minutes, you can grab an Uber or a taxi, and the lodging is like 5 blocks away. And so anyways, I just throw that out to you if you want to know more about the Gradia products, the Optiglaze products, how to apply them, aesthetics, and we'll be doing a whole bunch of other stuff if you read the syllabus. I hope to see you there. I think we have about 3 seats left. Be nice to fill that course. I don't believe I'll be giving another one this year at that Learning Center. So thanks for tuning in. See you later, and all the best.